welcome to Nigeria Unfiltered, a SYMFONI podcast. And our guest on today's edition of the program is Obunike Ohaegbu, former commissioner representing the FCT at the Public Complaints Commission. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure having you on the program.
It's a pleasure.
All right, let's look at developments in the polity, especially as regards to your political party. The NDC is facing widespread internal turmoil. And for a lot of persons, they're a little bit surprised by developments in the party. After celebrating the successful convention and then the emergence of His Excellency Peter Obi as a presidential candidate, that has been where the good news starts. The rest has been one allegation or the other. How do you respond to the internal crisis that's seeming to tear the NDC apart?
I wouldn't know what you mean by internal crisis. NDC, a party about 3 months old or so. And if you look at NDC, there is nothing you will say that is peculiar to NDC as a political party. There is no challenge that is peculiar to NDC as a political party that you cannot find in a worse situation in other political parties. Let me give you an example. The major challenge, what has generated the entire discussion concerning ADC now is just the last concluded primaries. If you listen to the national leader of our party, when he spoke on Arise, you will understand too that some of us who thought the victory we got on ground, that we have been robbed, he assured us last night that nobody has been declared winner. As a matter of fact, somebody like me, who before now I was agitated, I was angry, and I even went to court against the party. Why would the result not be declared? Because I got the impression, obviously wrongly, that somebody I defeated on ground has been declared winner. But the national leader of the party confirmed to the world yesterday that as at last night, nobody in NDC has been declared winner. So I spoke with other aspirants and they were like, oh, if that is the correct position of things, probably we could tally a little bit. So if not, this is a party that does not have a governor, this is a party that does not have a sitting president, and the crisis has been managed. There is no exchange of fiscals, because that is what ordinarily should have happened in a situation like this, where there is no supreme leader, in quote, that they look forward to, unlike other political parties. So for us to have managed it the way we have done so far, it gives Nigerians an idea of what is coming. And there was something the national leader of the NDC said yesterday. He said this will be the last primaries that will be done manually, that everything should be elected. And I believe him, because as a lawyer, MBA does her elections seamlessly by electronic voting. In fact, the last MBA election that I participated in, I, Obunike Ohaegbu, voted for my candidate from London. Wow. Yes, I voted from London because all I needed to do was to log in and cast my vote. So the national leader of the party is saying that this will be the last election. I'm sure those of us as members of the party will work towards that, and Nigerians will look forward to us implementing that by the next election.
There have been allegations that the national leader of the party is being a little dictatorial, determining who gets what, not allowing the party structures to function effectively. How do you respond to that?
I must first of all tell you I'm not the spokesman of the national leader as a person. I'm not the spokesman of the national leader. I'm not here to represent him. But let me tell you, there is a very thin line between somebody who is firm and somebody who is dictatorial. So if you want to push somebody around and he stands his ground, to you, that person could be dictatorial. But if the person dances to you, that person may not be dictatorial. So for me, the line between somebody who is very firm and principled and somebody who is dictatorial is very thin. As a matter of fact, as a member of the National Conscience Party, as a student, some of us who works with late Gani Fawemi believed that he was dictatorial, because there are certain things we wanted him to do with the National Conscience Party, and he stood his ground. But if you look at it, with benefit of hindsight, the man is being firm. His man is being principled. So I am not here to defend the countryman, His Excellency Seriake Dickson, because I know he has the capacity to defend himself. He has people who defend him, but I think the man, as of today, I believe he's just being firm and principled.
You were quoted as saying that you've seen certain things in NDC that made you conclude that all parties are the same. What did you see, and why did you come to that conclusion?
We just made mention of something now. We've done election. You see, I'm human. I went for primaries. I conducted primaries. I participated in primaries. I won the primaries on ground. I won the primaries on ground. As a matter of fact, when people were disputing that, this morning I uploaded on my Facebook where it was not where the city boys were sharing rice. This was where people came from Oka to conduct election. I was not in the scene. I hid myself somewhere because I knew if I come out and say anything or lift a finger, something will happen. And the people who came to Oka was trying to address them. They would say, hello, Mwamis. Our people will respond, Mwamis. As far as they are concerned, they are only there for me. And it's understandable because I am a village boy. My mother was a teacher. And I was a teacher within that locality, in the local community, which was taking me to school, and they started calling me Mwamis, the son of a teacher. I did my primary school in my community. I did my secondary school in we're still within the same locality. I did my university in Anambra State, in NDC University. So you could see I'm a complete and comprehensive village man. So the people know me from childhood. The day I made the declaration, although that was when we were in NDC, my primary 6 teacher came, my classmates came around, they spoke. So when things happen that way, I felt I won this election, something should happen. And if you remember what happened in the Bible, where 2 people were dragging for a child and all that, the other person said, kill the child, the other person said, leave the child. After the primaries on that day, even as at 9 p.m., I was at Anedo Hall. I will upload the video today. I was still at Anedo Hall. The crowd were there. People have gone home. But the masses were there, not happy. I demand, because my shuttle buses I had shuttle buses for the entire local government. They were all filled with gala and drinks, just to make sure people are comfortable. It was not for vote. But for them to know that NDC is different from other political parties. When every other person has gone home, Mwamis was there with them personally, sharing drinks and something for them to have something. And to a lot of them, that was the only thing they had from morning till 9 p.m. I could have left. If I didn't win that election, probably I would have been angry and left. But because I won on ground, I made sure I did that in the Nnewi South, I did that in the Nnewi North, so that they will go with good memory. Although we were overstretched, we were tired, but our son remembered us and he did not abandon us. So you can imagine coming from that. And I heard that my name is not there. Assume yourself in my shoes, you will know what will happen.
But that simply means also you didn't conduct your due diligence very well before reacting.
What do you mean by due diligence?
Because if you say that your reaction was based on assumption that you didn't win.
Let me tell you, when results are delayed, let's be honest with you, I'm a very frank person. You did primaries, a day, 2, 3. The results have not been made public. You know you won. It has not been made public. You have not been given certificate of return, as we thought used to be the system before the National Assembly, the APC-led National Assembly, foisted direct primaries on the political parties. You had the national leader say that yesterday. So naturally, as a human being, I was not comfortable that my result has not been announced. And I got the information that the results have been, or some other person has been announced. The national leader confirmed yesterday that nobody. So when he said nobody has been announced, I said, okay, that is nice. If nobody has been announced, that means there is, I mean, I'm not, whatever that is happening is not peculiar to me.
But before then, your party had said that the results will only be announced from Abuja and by the authorized organ. So any other source we are hearing from was hearsay.
But my brother, is not, this is the first time it's happening that after primaries you don't know the result 1 week, 2 weeks. This is the first time. So naturally, as somebody who participated, who won, somebody who believed he is a winner, should be worried. And I was.
All right. Your decision to contest for the House of Reps, you followed Peter Obi to NDC because you believe that he has a mass followership and that it's possible for you to also ride on his shadows to win. Don't you think that your followers may also be thinking you don't have the popularity to win on your own without riding on the back of Peter Obi?
In addition to what you have said, because if I believed that Peter Obi, His Excellency Peter Obi, will not be a very fantastic candidate for me to run an election in my constituency, I will never have tried it. Well, that's one. Two, those of us who are members of ADC, unanimously from Southeast, unanimously, regardless of your personal view, unanimously adopted Peter Obi as the face and leader of the Southeast in ADC. So
in NDC.
In ADC, I'm awake. Yes. In ADC, we met in Enugu. The entire members of ADC from the Southeast, we met in Enugu. Unanimously, no dissent, adopted Peter Obi as the leader of the Southeast in NDC, in ADC. He was our leader, the face of Southeast in ADC. So when the leader has taken a decision that we are moving to another platform, and I looked around, Achiku Denwa is there, Onyemugochukwu is there, Okwesilezo Nwodo is there, Samegwu is there. So what it means is that the entire Southeast, who earlier decided that he is the leader, are also of the view that he will be moved with. So we moved with him to NDC. I moved with him to NDC. Our primaries was direct primaries. As at the time I was mobilizing, I was mobilizing in my name as Obunike Ohaegbu. Our people may like to vote for His Excellency Peter Obi. They may desire to vote for him, His Excellency Peter Obi. They may pray for him to be the president. But with Wamis on ground, they will be mobilized to go to the polling booth and cast their vote. Desire is a lot different from going to, somebody has to be on ground. I say he cannot come to on election day. He cannot come to Epusigo. He cannot come to Newu South. Somebody has to mobilize them. I just told you what I did to people who came. That people would have gone home unhappy with NDC. But when I came, so during the election, they will say, oh, if not for Wamis, I wouldn't have come. Because it takes a lot. People suppose who went for a political party from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 p.m., nothing. The party made no arrangements for them, of course, that is understandable. But Wamis did. So they may desire for him to win, but because Wamis is on the ballot, they will go and cast their vote for Wamis, and at the same time cast for Peter Obi. So if ordinarily he would have gotten 10 votes, because Wamis is on the ballot, it could be 10, it could be 20. So the relationship is going to be symbiotic. The benefit is going to be mutual. Because I'm not waiting for, and as a matter of fact, my candidature will mobilize minimum of 500 million to the NDC. Because, yes, my candidature will mobilize at least 500 million to the national. Let me tell you. I'm telling you 500. Let me tell you how. If you listen to the national chairman, national leader yesterday, he said, not just if you have the source. My mother was a primary school teacher who groomed people in their thousands in my community. Today, those people are billionaires. So I am tapping, not just from my personal goodwill, from the personal goodwill, what my mother left. She didn't leave cash for me, but she left goodwill that can sustain me in whatever I'm going to do. So, yes, I will benefit from his being popular, but the benefit will be mutual.
For the sake of argument, if it doesn't favor you to fly the flag of NDC, will you still support the NDC and Peter Obi in your constituency?
Before I answer this question, let me give you a brief background history of who Obunike Ohaegbu is. I joined PDP as the Attorney General of the Student Union government in Nnamdi Azikiwe University in 1998. I led the Student Union government to attend the official declaration of PDP in Anambra State, in Awka. In 2017, we did primaries, for gubernatorial primaries. I worked with His Excellency Peter Obi. Our candidate won. People from my area who felt that I stepped on their toes because they were also aspirants, that I went and supported somebody from Obaru. When I wanted to run for House of Assembly in 2019, they said that I should not be for Nnewi South, that I have to go to Obaru to run for House of Assembly election. On the day of primaries, our people were mobilized at the venue. They came in their normal style, took everything for the election. I called my people, said, just go, it doesn't want it. My friends were surprised. My friends were not happy. I entered my car, I entered my Prado. I asked my Hilux driver, I took my car myself, we left Oka that evening. I slept in Bolaf. The next morning I came to Abuja. And I remained in PDP. In 2023, I campaigned and I remained in PDP. You see, when people stand and say, oh, you were not obedient in 2023, for crying out loud, I was PDP. I was PDP, now I'm NDC, so I'm going to support Peter. And the irony is that the natural people who are saying that because I didn't work, that I've always worked for Atiku and other. As I supported Atiku in 2019, when he ran with Peter, I supported him in 2023. Now I'm in NDC, but our candidate as of today, the sole candidate we have is Peter Obi, and he's the one I'm going to support. Seriake Dickson, who is the founder and national leader of NDC as of today, delivered PDP in 2023. Are you now saying that he shouldn't be part of NDC because he worked for PDP in 2023? When serious-minded people talk, you will understand. I'm a man without sounding modest, with the support of my people, and with a capacity to win an election, and I will win this election. Yes, I have that capacity. I can tell you, I will show you the video. You see the people. If you are the one, people are fighting for that way without kobo. Why wouldn't you be proud of yourself?
All right, in 2023, a lot of persons won election on the platform of Labour Party, on the wave of the obedient movement, and regrettably, sadly, 1 year, 2 years into their tenure, many of them started defecting. And as of today, I don't know how many of them that won election across the country on the platform of the Labour Party, on the wave of that obedient movement, are still with the Labour Party. What does it say about our national recruitment process?
That is the problem, because most times you find people, oh, this person has been with me and all that. The person that has not tested power cannot be. You wouldn't know where the person stands. The person that has not had challenge, you wouldn't know where the person stands. I have just told you my story. The primary election in 2019 was there for me to lose. Materials were collected. I didn't want to subject my people to the risk of them fighting. I left the venue. I never left PDP. In this election, I'm going to work for NDC. I will continue to work for NDC. I will work for NDC 2031, regardless of what will happen now. But I think by the grace of God, I'm going to win the primaries and I'm going to win the election. Regardless of that, I'm going to be a member of NDC. I can't go back and say I've jumped. It's not in my character. It's not in my... anybody that knows me knows it's not in my character. So those people that did that, these are sycophants. Every leader should be careful of people who have not been tested, and they are saying, "Oh, you are the Lord. Oh, well, God, you are privileged to have you. You are the God we know," and all that. The moment you give that person power, you see what will happen. When you are careful with some of us who are independent-minded, who speak our voice, who are vocal, you cannot say that tomorrow we are going to jump out. I was speaking with, the last time I had an interview here, people interviewed me about Atiku Abubakar. They expected that I should withdraw whatever I've said before about him in the past. That is not possible. That is not whom Obunike Ohaegbu is. In the past, I said he had experience. That I have left ADC doesn't mean that he doesn't have experience. In the past, I said there is need for him to collaborate with Southeast, and that he will bring the votes from the North that will win the election. That I left NDC doesn't change that. But the only problem now is that that partnership he would have gotten from the Southeast has left ADC and moved in NDC. That is the only challenge. And that's the only reason why I think he will not win the election. Not because of anything wrong about him as a person, not because of his age, not because he doesn't have experience. I cannot castigate somebody I promoted. Let me tell you, in my place, an also titled man does not spit out and go back to pick it. I'm not some characters that today, because you has promoted, they say your responsibility, you get the person you supported yesterday, you get the person, attack the person, abuse the person. I cannot do that. I don't have the capacity. Even if I want to do that, I can't do it. It's not in my DNA. It's not in my DNA. So I think he's still a good man. But in this election, His Excellency Peter Obi is going to unfortunately defeat him. Because we are going to win the election. We're in a contest. We're in a contest with him. And we will win. But it has nothing to do with him as a person. It has not made him a lesser person than I thought he was before. No. Nothing has changed.
The appearance of your national leader on a primetime interview dwelled more on the internal crisis within the party. And at a point, he made claims that His Excellency Peter Obi and His Excellency Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso are not doing the NDC a favor. Rather, the NDC is doing them a favor. And then he tried to balance it by saying, just like they are doing them a favor by giving them the platform, they are also doing the NDC a favor. But he didn't categorically admit that the coming of Obi and Kwankwaso has lifted the image of the NDC and making them have a favor with the people.
You also had the national leader of the party say that on the election day, what you have on the ballot will not be His Excellency Peter Obi, will not be Dr. Kwankwaso, that what we have on the ballot is NDC. That is promoting the party, the supremacy of the party. Regardless of whom you are, what you are coming with, once you have joined the party, you should submit to the party. Have you seen His Excellency Okutendibo, Mr. Peter Obi, recently? He moves around with party logo either as his shirt or as his cap. So he is also saying the same thing Dickson is saying. It's just probably semantics. So we have to promote the party. As a matter of fact, I promote myself in my federal constituency. People already know me, but I'm promoting the party more. Because if you know Abunike Ohaegbu, you know Wamis, or you know Ezesinachup, or you know Criticises Ohaegbu, or whatever you know, but you don't know NDC, I will not get your vote on election day. So the party should be one. Number one.
From our present realities, do you think that we still have party supremacy in our current dispensation? Across board.
Well, you had the national leader of my party speak. That was the party speaking. Has he been challenged? That is the party speaking. He didn't go there as Seriake Dickson. He didn't go there as former governor of Bayelsa State. He didn't go there as a senator. He went there as the national leader of NDC. And nobody has challenged. We just spoke about, you said him being autocratic. I told you there's a thin line between being autocratic and being firm. That is the parties. Parties will massive. I'm sure other political parties will learn that from the NDC.
Let's look at the issue of defection. When people win on a platform of a political party and they come to another party, how can we address issues like this in such a way that it can deepen our democracy without making a mockery of our democracy?
What we should do, I think we should do, which was what the national leader of the party said yesterday, is to make the party viable, create reforms, so that if your party is still viable, if your party is still popular, if everybody still believes that your party is the best, it will still be is it good or best bride, how do you say that? So, in my view, people who decamp because they believe that their party cannot serve them what they desire. And let me tell you, we should also be slow in stopping. Personally, it depends on the individual, but you cannot step on the people's rights of association. But what I think should be structured in our laws, which I believe is there, just to make it stronger, is that if you are leaving, you don't leave with a mandate. But it seems that people will not leave, then it's undemocratic. People.
But let's look at the opposition holistically ahead of the 2027 elections. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency Peter Obi, His Excellency Donald Duke, Showore, all of these will be going up against the APC leader. And ironically, 4 of them are coming from the south. Minus Atiku is coming from the north. Don't you think this fragmentation is good news to President Bola Tinubu?
Well, I concede to the fact that the ideal situation is a situation where all the opposition will have one united opposition. But the truth is that in this life, you will always have people with divergent views. But at the end of the day, we have one electorate. We have one voter. As an individual, you're just a voter. And we are watching what is happening. The fact that NDC have their presidential, for fairness, that the NDC have their presidential candidate from the southeast. And the party has also said that Southeast, and Southeast has accepted through the presidential candidate of our party that we are going to do only 4 years. So the advantage somebody could have gotten to come from an area is a bit challenged. I had consistently insisted that the party should make, when I was in ADC, I made a lot of public write-ups that the national chairman of the party should publicly state the position of the party in terms of tenure, which never happened. But NDC has taken advantage of that to say, we are going to stay for just 4 years. NDC has said, we are just going to stay for just 4 years. So that is not giving anybody that advantage. So you see, the people from the Northwest, where you have the highest voting population in Nigeria, have Kwankwaso, who arguably, I've said that before, I'm not saying it, has the largest organic support base. So you cannot, we are not disadvantaged. Well, then Aduk is running. Yeah, well, of course, at the end, if he participates in the election, he will also be a former presidential candidate. And I congratulate him in advance, because if he had gotten that ticket, he will have that title. I wouldn't want to go beyond that. But we know people who are running the election. This election is a straight fight between NDC and APC.
You ruling out the ADC?
I just made an analysis.
All right, let's move forward. Let's look at NDC zoning the presidency to the southeast and saying just one tenure. And if by any stroke of luck or imagination that His Excellency Peter Obi wins, and then just after 4 years, he will now be quitting the seat, do you think that the southeast will be happy, and would that be fair for them?
It depends on what you are saying. It depends on what you consider fairness. Okay, let me give you two.
People who have never tested.
Let me give you two scenarios. One is either His Excellency Peter Obi accepts to do 4 years, And that 4 years with 4 years of governance focused. No second-term distraction. That 4 years, we believe he's going to perform. No distractions. And then the power moves to the north, and probably southeast produces the vice to that north. Compare that to a situation where His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu completes the next 4 years, power goes to the northeast with this present arrangement, stays 8 years in the northeast and probably goes to the south-south, and stays another 8 years in the south-south, probably goes to the northeast or northwest, and stays. That means in the next, the two scenarios, which one do you think Ndi will be very comfortable with? I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
In this situation, even this gentleman agreement of rotation, what would you have preferred? North-south or along geopolitical zones?
I'm privileged to be the leader of the Southeast Patriots. And Southeast Patriots has consistently insisted that there should be 2 amendments in our constitution. One is tenure, that we should have 6 years tenure, single term. The second is that it should rotate among the 6 geopolitical zones. This is my personal opinion and the opinion of the Southeast Patriots. On this issue, I did not speak as a member of NDC.
All right, let's look at what global news medium Bloomberg wrote about or talked about Peter Obi, saying he's entering the race. We further fragment the opposition camp. As a matter of fact, they argue that is deliberately dividing the opposition to favor President Tinubu. What do you think of that?
First of all, their analysis is not, I wouldn't say they wrote nonsense. I wouldn't say that. They can justify what they wrote. But you and I are here. We are the voters. You saw what happened the last time. If His Excellency Peter Obi, I'm asking you a question, that if His Excellency Peter Obi had run the 2023 election without one that election was, that partnership was between him and Kwankwaso, don't you think the results would have been different? So if that result would have been different, what has changed? Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is that Nigerians are more desperate to see APC out. Nigerians are worse off now. Nigerians are more conscious now. Nigerians are more desperate to remove APC from government. So if Nigerians are more desperate, what do you think will happen? I see NDC winning the election.
All right, let's look at, in the light of what you just said, let's look at the 3-year tenure of President Tinubu. How would you describe his 3 years in office vis-a-vis economy, insecurity, and general governance?
With due respect, I'm trying to be as civil as possible, and in that civility, I would say it has been a monumental failure.
Your civility?
Yes, in my civility, it has been a monumental failure. I mean, somebody who has not been sworn in. You've not read any file as president. Were you dancing to the gallery? You came out and said, subsidy gone. Subsidy is probably the only thing the masses benefit from. You don't even know the implication. You don't even know. You were saying outside there was nothing like subsidy. When Jonathan was in power, you were saying there was nothing like subsidy. You came to power, the first thing you said is subsidy gone. You did not say armed banditry gone. You did not say Boko Haram gone. You did not say corruption gone. You did not say stealing in government gone. So how could such government have survived? And we saw the implication. And I understood that at the end of the day, behind the scene, that subsidy is being paid. I mean, I've not verified that, but that is the information I have. So what did you achieve by that thing you did? He's too experienced to be considered to have said that out of exuberance. Because I'm sure that was not in his written speech.
What area do you think Nigerians have not felt leadership at all under this administration?
Your question has a presupposition which I think is wrong. The presupposition is that there are areas that Nigeria has felt, and I don't think there is any area that, and with due respect, and I'm still being civil, that this government has succeeded. And it needs to be changed.
In your quiet moments, have you ever thought that defeating President Tinubu in 2027 is a Herculean task? Just reflecting. If the answer is no, what is the credible pathway to defeat him in 2027?
I mean, I'll be deceiving myself if I think if I believe that it should be a walk in the park to defeat Asiwaju. But I'm confident that we'll be able to mobilize Nigerians. The only thing between winning or losing this election is the number of Nigerians that are mobilized to vote on election day. Because I have reasons to believe that more Nigerians are angry with this government than those people who are comfortable with the government. So if more Nigerians are not happy with this government, the only thing that will make the change is that more Nigerians will be mobilized. And I'm telling you, with what NDC is doing, once we try as much as possible in every federal constituency to make sure we have competent, capable, strong candidates to help, because this issue of having somebody at the national, having a popular president, if you don't have people on ground that will drive down that to make sure that support triggers that, on election day you will not have competent people as agents. On election day you will not have people that will canvass and mobilize people to polling booths. Once we get that done, I'm sure we are going to end this year as a party will defeat the sitting president. But you also need to have in other cadres from the Senate, House of Reps, and House of Assembly, that you need capable, active people who are on ground in their various constituencies and have the capacity, as I have, to mobilize their constituencies for people to come out to vote. This government will be gone.
Let me wrap up this way. What's this story about you and Kenneth Okonkwo, the allegation he made against you? What's the story about?
Well, that is an area I thought we could have been able to avoid, but let me tell you, Kenneth went to channels and said, I told him Peter Obi is a criminal, that is the leader of the criminal gang, that I told him, Peter told me that told me to pay 10 million naira to the party. But I told him that I paid to the party. Even because we were discussing, I told him, I'm even going to court with the party. He said, do you have evidence? I said, I have. He's not sharing the documents as classified. They are not classified because those are not public documents. All he's sharing now are public documents that are already in court. So, you see, I don't want to go into that, but I want to ask you a question, if you don't mind. I wouldn't know if you're a lawyer like Kenneth Okonkwo. Even if you are not one. If I pay you, no matter how much I pay you, disregarding the Nigerian constitution that says that everybody is presumed innocent until proved guilty, how much will I pay you for you to go to national TV and say that Peter Obi is a criminal? And people say this politics. This is not politics. I'm worried, but I think the NBC should start looking towards the direction of ensuring that, I'm not trying to suggest anything, but it will not be a bad idea that anybody who is going to a live TV to speak, especially on politically related matters, should have some form of test.
How do you mean?
I mean, I don't know how to put it, but it's important to confirm that people who speak to the public are not doing so under any influence. I said, drug test. Drug test. I mean, it's unbelievable that people could go on air. You said you have evidence against me. Provide evidence where I said Peter Obi told me to pay 10 million. Peter Obi is a criminal by Obunike Ohaegbu. You cannot. What you are doing, you presented all the documents and you say all you had, which is already in the public domain, and you are saying if you are triggered, you provide more. What more are you going to provide? I said provide that. I don't even want to go into that, but I'm surprised that initially some people do not believe that myself and Peter Obi are victims of what Kenneth is doing. We are victims. Because he mentioned that I told him, and he said people who moved from ADC to NDC in Enugu were with him in ADC. That means he knew those people. He also, somebody from Enugu told him something. There is somebody, a senatorial aspirant from Enugu, who wrote EFCC against NDC. Why didn't he quote that person? Why look for somebody from Anambra? I'm not trying to go into that. Why make private discussion? Assuming without considering public. What? You see? And somebody was telling me he was doing that for Atiku Abubakar. I said it's not true. I'm sorry I'm saying this. It's not working for Atiku Abubakar. The Atiku Abubakar cannot sanction that. I know Atiku Abubakar's head of media from where he was vice president. Paul Ibe, our brother. Go and check his wall. That man has never, for any day, insulted anybody. So if that is what Atiku Abubakar wants, why won't Paul Ibe, his man, be insulting everybody? And I doubt if KENNETH OKONKWO, the way he's going, he's actually working for Atiku Abubakar. Because you know that making such unguarded utterances is going to provoke your people in the Igbo. Therefore, those of them that have sympathy for ADC will not vote for ADC. So if they are not voting for Peter, they will end up voting for which party? APC. Your state governor is APC. Almost all the political leaders in your state are APC, and you are the one working for ADC from your state, and your attack is on your brother. Even if I told him that, will he go on national television and say that? Assuming without considering I said that, I'm telling you, I never did. I've also challenged him. If you bring out anywhere I said, Peter Obi asked me to pay 10 million naira, or that I said Peter Obi is a criminal. This election, I will withdraw, and I will retire from politics. He has not been able to share that. He said, what this man told. I don't want to engage that. I'm happy you made it the last time because I'm sure it would have disorganized me. And I'm most grateful that you made it the last time. But that is not a very responsible thing for an Igbo man to do. And it's most unfortunate.